Hello, everybody. Welcome to the MTG Place podcast. I'm your host, Corey, and with me, like always, is James and Josh. How's it going, guys?
Hello, everybody. How are we doing?
What's up?
Did you guys have a good weekend and stuff?
Yeah, I did a whole lot of nothing. It was great.
Yeah, finally I had 2 days off in a row, so that was nice.
Dude, oh, that's a mood.
2 days makes a lot of difference.
Not having like 2 days in a row off is so crappy. Like, ugh,
Oh gosh,
gross.
that's almost all the time. But like that first night's of rest
brutal, man.
after like knowing I have the next day off, it's just like, oh, this is so nice.
Well, you just feel like you never get anything done when you only have a day off. It's like, oh, let's go back to work. Yeah, that's no good. That's no good.
So today we're going to be talking about the new cowboy set, Outlaws of Thunder Junction. So we got all the Outlaws and everything going on. I'm pretty pumped for the set. It looks cool.
Yeah, that set looks sick. Definitely.
We're going to be talking about the rares and mythics in WUBRG order, and we're just going to talk about WUBRG on today's show. We're going to make a second episode for the multicolored cards and just the rares and mythics, skipping reprints. And before we get into all that, a couple ways you can support the podcast is directly right over on Patreon. Sign up for all sorts of different tier levels and get cool perks like playing Commander games with us. You can also just hit the subscribe and follow button on the YouTube video or Spotify or wherever you listen to this. And lastly, you can click our TCG Player affiliate link if you want to buy any of these cards. It's in the show notes, and it lets them know that we sent you over there. It helps support the show. All right, so James, you want to start us off?
All right. So, starting with white as usual, we have our first card. It's called Another Round. It is double X, 2, and a white. So, it's a sorcery. Exile any number of creatures you control, then return them to the battlefield under their owner's control. Then repeat this process X more times. And remember, you have to pay double for each one trigger, basically, in this case.
This is sick. It's
so
not
this
an
is
instant,
Blink City, baby.
You can't protect yourself from like board wipes or anything. Well, it wouldn't do that anyway if it was a instant because it would resolve.
Right.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't work for that. But something like Brago or any other ETB matters, this is just broken.
But is it expensive for what it does? Like, you're paying $5 just to do it one time, right?
Yeah.
I guess you do it twice.
Yeah. So 3 for once. Depends on how big your board is. Is Ephemerate just better? Do you only have like one creature, like one Muldrifter to do it?
Yeah. Well, because you got to remember, this hits the entire board.
Yeah, but I mean,
and it's any number of things you want to do.
Yorin doesn't
cost 5, hits the whole board. I guess this would hit it twice. Right.
This would be twice for 5.
What's nice with flickers is that, like Muldrifter, for example, you invoke it and then you flicker it on its evoke step, so you keep the creature, get the double, so you can't really do that with this. Might be too slow, but maybe in the right deck.
Interesting. Yeah, I love to see it.
Like, it feels like it's good, but I feel like it's a kind of a win more, because if you have that much stuff on the board to flicker, you're probably ahead anyway.
I mean, you probably are, depending on what they are, of course. But hard to say. I definitely want to see this. And try it
definitely
out.
Like, you could put it in a flicker deck if you just want a shit ton of triggers at once.
Yeah, this would be really good for like something like a Brago deck, basically, or a Slime Closet deck, something like that. This could be really good in that, possibly.
All right, we got the Aven Interpreter up next. 1 white for 2/2 bird rogue with flash flying. And when he enters the battlefield, exile target spell. It becomes plotted. So plotted's a new keyword. Its owner may cast it as a sorcery on a later turn without paying its mana cost. Then spells your opponents cast from graveyards or from exile cost 2 more to cast.
Yeah,
so this is really interesting here.
You can only plot as a sorcery speed.
Yep.
So this hoses counter spells. If you like make their counter spell become plotted, they're like, it's just worthless. They can't ever do it unless they're gonna counter
Oh, yeah.
or they can only do sorcery speeds. They can't even counter their own thing. Like,
No,
Yeah,
they
it has to
can't
be
do
as a
anything with
sorcery.
it.
That's brutal for instance. Jesus.
Yeah.
I love how this is kind of a play on the old Aven Mind Sensor. Like it's kind of a similar deal, similar kind of flavor, but does a different thing. That's just could be almost as devastating depending on what you might hit with it.
I mean, hitting target spell, you can hit everything. Everything.
yeah, I mean,
And then
just hitting their
the
6-drop and making them have to pay
Yep.
8 for it.
yeah,
Yep.
and then the 2 more to cast. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
rough, man.
Anything that makes them have to like as additional cost, you got to sacrifice a creature. Hitting their like I don't know, natural order. They sacked their creature already.
Yeah.
They don't get it. They have to sack another one.
Or like Harrow or something like that. It's just
Yes.
like, you slacked your land. It's gone. Oops.
This is going to be a playmaker, I think.
This is a good card. This is really, really good.
Plus,
It's basically
a rogue, so it's an outlaw.
Ooh,
yeah.
Uh-oh.
Love that. It's like
Rogue
White
is good.
Venser, but honestly kind of better because he's cheaper. And the 2 or more to cast is super good.
I'm pretty happy to see double white pip. I mean, yes, that's a downside, but I don't like universally good cards like, Fierce Guardianship goes into every single deck. Cyclonic Rift, 1 blue. It's so easy to fit in
every
5
single
color
deck. Yeah.
This makes you need to be like mono white or 2 colors to really like
like
get this
Selesnya
consistent
or something like
So
that.
I like the downside of it being 2 white.
For sure.
All right. Next up, we have Claim Jumper. Is 2 and a white for a 3/3 Rabbit Mercenary with Vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, if an opponent controls more lands than you, you search your library for a Plains card, put it on the battlefield tapped. Then, if an opponent controls more lands than you, repeat this process once. If you search your library this way, shuffle.
Interesting. Okay.
Double ramp.
Double it.
ramp. Yeah. It's a more expensive Weather Wayfarer, but it triggers twice.
Twice, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a 3-mana 3/3 Vigilance too.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like that's pretty decent.
It's also a rabbit, so watch out for the next set, Bloomborough.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a mercenary, so it's an outlaw.
no.
Heck yeah.
So I want to say most of these cards are going to be bombs and limited anyway. So we're thinking more commander at the moment.
Yep. Yeah, this is really good. Good white ramp.
Kind of like it's kind of like a
it.
white cultivate.
Yeah, kinda. As long as you're behind, at least.
Yeah.
There just needs to be one
cost.
green player.
Yep.
There's always a green player.
There's always a green player.
Someone's ramping. You'll probably get it. Yeah, that card's cool though. I like this one a lot, honestly. All right. Next up, we have Dust Animus. It is 1 and a white for a 2/3 spirit creature. It has flying. If you control 5 or more untapped lands, Dust Animus enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters and a lifelink counter on it. Then it has plot 1 and a white.
Yeah, so the easy play pattern is just pay 2 and then wait till turn 5 and play it before you play anything else.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what you'll want to do.
I mean, or you could just do it on turn 7.
Yeah. Or if you have mana rocks or any other way.
And then it becomes what, a 2-mana 4/5 with lifelink?
With lifelink.
And flying.
Kind of like a Sarah Angel way. This doesn't seem good in Commander, but it's going to be 5 out of 5 limited all-star bomb. You win everything.
Yeah, it's so good.
This, if you open up in packs and limited, you're going to win.
Yeah, it's just going to be a freaking, what is that, 4/5 with lifelink and flying?
Yeah.
Oh, dear God.
I don't see it in Commander, though.
Good.
I don't know.
Yeah, Commander might be harder.
It's not horrible in Commander.
No.
Yeah, it's
especially if you're like green, white,
okay.
and you're just ramping. Like,
right, yeah. I mean,
Something
having 5 or more
counters.
untapped lands in those colors is usually not.
if you have like
hard.
a spirit deck, it's a spirit.
Yeah, it is a spirit too, and a pretty
Changelings
good one
are
at that.
spirits.
That's true.
You're
That
changeling,
doesn't
I
matter
swear.
too much.
Yeah, it's an interesting card. Yeah, really good for limited though. Holy crap. That's gotta be a bomb.
All right, we'll move on to the final showdown.
Da-na-na. Close enough.
So one white instant, and their new card Spree. Choose one or more additional costs. Each of these are an additional mana. Then you get the thing. So +1 mana. All creatures lose all abilities till end of turn. Or choose +1 a mana. Choose a creature you control. It gains indestructible until end of turn. And then +3 white. Destroy all creatures. Instant speed.
Instant speed for 6?
Instant speed Wrath God. No
Not
longer route.
terrible.
Route's
Yeah,
no longer good.
that's basically what a route is.
Yeah.
I think it's 2 extra if I remember right.
Yeah.
2 mana for
I mean, you can
one
pay-
creature being indestructible. It's just kind of, it's okay, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess you can do it more times
I
for
mean, you could pay the same as route like 7, and you blow up everything, keeping your best creature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you could do that.
I like the thing. All creatures lose all abilities until end of turn.
Yeah, that's
one's-
kind of
that
a
one's
nifty
probably really good, yeah.
combat trick. I feel like someone swings
Yeah.
you all out or something. You're like, all right, they lose all abilities and
That-
start blocking.
My first thought was they lose indestructible, so now you can
that
actually
too.
kill them.
Mm-hmm.
It's also like Dress Down. Dress Down has been really good. Someone plays their Thassa's Oracle, and on the stack of that, you just say it loses all abilities. The Oracle does
Yeah.
nothing
Right.
as it comes in. You just stop their win con.
Yeah, like they're just hosed at that point. I mean, with heroic intervention being a thing, paying 2 just for one creature being indestructible doesn't feel quite as good. But
No.
the fact that this is a white
No,
card,
you're gonna want to use it for either the first mode or the
Or-
last mode.
Or
yeah,
both for
I
sure,
think the
yeah.
first or last is probably what you're going to go for.
But it has that flexibility, which is amazing.
Yeah,
Maybe
the
you
flexibility
do
is really.
2 mana.
That's what's really
Easy.
cool about these spree cards is they are super flexible.
The other weird thing is technically the mana cost of this card is 1. So if you have like search for your library for
Spellseeker
instant that
just
costs 1, you can get
so
this.
You can
much
grab
better.
this.
Spellseeker's so good now.
Yeah, it works so well with these cards because a lot of them are super cheap.
I think they're all 1. If I
Like
can.
they're like all like 1,
There's a
maybe
couple there
2.
too, I
Yeah,
think.
There's a couple that's 2. Okay.
but yeah, I don't think they're much more than that though. So yeah, these are interesting.
All right. Next up, we got Fortune, the Loyal Steed. So it's a 3 mana 2/4 legendary creature beast mount. When it enters the battlefield, you scry 2, and then a mount has this new ability called Saddle. So you have to tap a creature with power, kind of like Crew, to make it saddled, and then usually they have an ability that triggers when they attack while saddled, but sometimes it's other things. But this says whenever it attacks while saddled, at the end of combat, exile it, and up to 1 target creature that's saddled at this turn, then return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control. So you get to flicker this, and whatever
And
saddled
whatever's
it, get the
basically riding
scry
it.
2, and whatever other ETB you want.
Cool. So that could honestly combo with depending on what you got. You got something like Flicker Wisp, or something else like that, and you just start flickering everything.
Just Ball Drifter, just draw more cards.
Yeah,
Always
Mold
Mold
Drifter is
Drifter.
always good too.
Always Mold Drifter. Yeah, it seems good. Low cost, good rate by itself. What's
yeah,
cool
it's a
about
3
Mount?
mana 2/4 that scries to by itself. If you
Yeah,
whatever
that's a
saddle.
pretty good effect, honestly, just on its own.
And instead of
then-
being a vehicle, it's actually a creature. It can just block
Yeah,
and
it can
attack.
actually do
Like,
shit
you
on
don't
its
have
own.
to saddle it ever. It's saddle just if you want that other ability.
That's the really nice thing. Like that's the thing about vehicles is like they're usually like cheap costing like powerful things, but you always have to have something to like make it
Mhm.
do anything, even block, and it's just like ugh. But yeah,
right.
They do
yeah. Not with
dodge
this
board
though, which is
wipes.
pretty nice.
Dodging board wipes is like a real good upside, but other than that,
Yeah.
mounts are going to be way better.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Moving on, our next card is High Noon. 1 and a white for an enchantment. Each player can't cast more than one spell each turn. Ouch for blue players or storm players. Then you can also pay 4 and a mountain, sacrifice this. It deals 5 damage to any target.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it's a 2 mana. Isn't there a 1 mana card that does this?
it's non-creature spells though.
Oh,
That
okay.
one is.
Yeah, so this is everything, basically.
The normal one is 2 mana, I think.
So this just tacks on like a lava
Yeah.
axe.
Yeah,
to
you
it.
got a lava axe, so you can
Better.
spend it at any time, I guess.
I mean, you do that when you want
Fine.
to cast more than one
Yeah.
spell. So
Yeah,
Right.
does cost a lot, but
Yes, the lava axe is not a good card.
at least you can hit something else if you don't want to hit a player with this.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's okay. I don't know. If you got a lot of people that try and double spell, I guess it's good. It's kind of like a sideboardy card.
Yeah, it's like a sideboard for like a storm combo deck, something like that. Maybe
Like,
someone's
so
playing
you
a
need
little blue
to know that
stuff.
your commander play group does the double spelling.
Yeah,
Mhm.
This is a very more niche card, I would say. It's not going to work against every deck.
And
That's
you have
for
to
sure.
be playing Boros or more colors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I still think it's really good, I think, but
yeah. I mean, it's control. It's
I mean,
definitely
it's better.
a
It's
good
way better in
control card.
constructed, like than it is in
Yeah.
commander. Like just playing in like standard or something.
Yeah, this is
better.
pretty decent for standard.
Hmm.
Commanders, I think it really depends.
CEDH is different
Yeah,
than
it'd be good in CEDH too.
CEDH. This is bonkers.
Hmm.
I don't know. Do we need to do the obligatory? It's high noon. All right, we got one last job. 2 and a white for another spree sorcery. Okay, this one's a 3-drop. +2, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield.
That's pretty good.
+1, that's pretty good. It doesn't have a finality counter.
Yeah.
Return target mount or vehicle card from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Even better.
Sick.
Okay.
+1, return target aura or equipment card from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to a creature you control.
Damn, that's really good. These are all really good effects.
And you could do all 3 at once?
Yeah, as long as you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana.
Yeah. And you
Yeah,
need all 3 cards.
I feel you're gonna need to at least play all, at least like the ability to use all these modes for you to want this card.
Yeah.
Because like 5 mana, bring a creature back. Like you could just play, Breath of Life or whatever.
Yeah.
It is, Resurrection.
Dread Return or something.
Resurrection is like from Alpha.
Is it?
It's an old card.
Yeah, but it's 2 white, bring a creature back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that it costs 1 less. But I mean, if you're playing mounts or vehicles, you might play it just for the
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
cheap.
4 mana, bring a creature back. But I mean,
That's
I feel
not
like if you have an aura or equipment in your deck, a mount and or a vehicle, and you obviously probably have creatures. So if you have the possibility to hit all 3 for 7 mana, or even 6 mana for 2 of them, then it becomes great.
Yeah. Well, especially if you're like returning like an equipment and you can equip it to the creature. Just imagine like, oh, I'm gonna bring back my batter skull and equip it to something, and I don't have to pay fucking like 7 for that or whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah.
Like,
Attaching
on top of
pretty
bringing
deep.
it back from the freaking graveyard, or like a sword, or because that would be 5 mana to attach to something. So, or to play and attach to something.
I'm gonna bring back my Colossus hammer you blew up.
Oh.
Colossus hammer.
Well, hey, it gets around the equip cost of like
It
10.
does. It does do that. Like, yeah, like this can. I feel like for like especially aura or equipment decks, this is like super good because you're getting around that equip cost, especially if it's like high cost stuff. That's why you usually play Stormforge or something like that because you sneak it in that or you cheat it that way. This is basically another way to do that. But like if someone happened to blow it up, then You bring it back, and it's attached. So you don't have to worry about that. So I don't know. I think it's pretty good.
The flavor is pretty on point too. It's just like, you're coming back, dude. You thought you were done in the graveyard.
One more time.
One last job.
Yep.
You never end as a criminal.
That's right.
All right, next up,
All right.
we're on the blue.
We're on the blue.
So we got Archmage Newt. It's 1 in a blue for a 2/2 Salamander mount. When it deals combat damage to a player, target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to its mana cost. That card gains flashback 0 until end of turn instead if Archmage Newt is saddled.
So
The
you
saddle
literally
cost is
just play
3.
it for freaking free?
Yep.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
you
as
do have
long
to
as-
hit a player, though, but
Yep.
Yeah.
and tap something with 3 power.
Mm-hmm. And it's just a 2/2. You gotta
Yeah.
you gotta slide on through.
Yeah. But this is blue we're talking about. There's ways to make stuff
I
unblockable.
mean, if you have like
There's ways
Whisper Silk in your deck and stuff.
Whisper Silk, yeah. Like
Not
this
Cryptic
can
Code. Unless you get this off of Cryptic Code.
Yeah,
What?
you
Yeah.
the new code.
could. I think this is really good. Honestly. Like
Snapcaster Mage
Flashback
is good.
0, like that's
it's
super
Snapcaster
powerful.
Mage you can keep doing.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a 0 cost one if you can saddle it, which is even because we all know how good Snap is. Snap is super good, and this basically takes that to another level. As long as you're able to meet those requirements, which
Yeah.
I don't think that's too hard to do.
Only
There's
downside is you have to do it like on your turn after hitting a player. It's not like Snap where you can just flash it in and then.
A
Right.
counter spell.
Yeah.
You can't do counter
Yeah.
spells.
Yeah,
But if you have like big old stuff, that
It's
could
good
be
with Expropriate or extra turn spells.
Yeah.
like
Ultimatum.
Temporal Mastery or some shit. Like, I did
Crazy
an extra
spells.
turn. Yeah.
Peer to
I'm
the
not going to
abyss.
pay 10 for it or whatever it is. I'm going to pay 0.
In Commander, there's always someone open. You know, someone's not playing a creature. You gotta hit somebody.
Yeah, you're able to figure that out. I don't know. I could see this definitely being pretty good. All right, our next card we got is Double Down. It is 3 in a blue for an enchantment. Whenever you cast an outlaw spell, copy that spell. So, outlaws are assassins, mercenaries, pirates, rogues, warlocks, and then the copies
And changelings.
yeah, technically.
The best alibi is being in multiple places at the same time.
So
I mean,
this
you
just
can double all your outlaws. It's pretty good.
yeah, it's almost like a
As
blue
long as you have
parallel
like
lives.
non-legendary ones.
Yeah, blue parallel lives basically, but for assassins.
Imagine having
mercenaries,
parallel
pirates,
lives
and rogues,
with
warlocks.
this.
Yeah, there you go. Parallel lives with this, you get another token.
God, double. Ooh, that's gross.
You only get one extra.
You get one extra because it doubles the token, not the
Well, that's true.
card you
Yeah.
play.
I don't know all the assassins and mercenaries, pirates, rogues, warlocks, but there's got to be something pretty crazy to do this.
I would think so.
I'm going to copy my Royal Assassin.
Okay, yeah.
Freaking royal
That's not that
assassin.
good.
I mean,
but-
in just a
Wow.
tribal deck too. Yeah, you're just playing assassins. This is decent.
Yeah, this is
good.
super good for that. I
yeah,
can
but
see
if
this
you just
dude's
have a
work.
pirate deck already. Like pirate
Yeah.
decks are a thing.
Yeah,
so is a
pirate
rogue
decks
deck.
are definitely a thing. Yeah, and some of them are pretty good. So
The rogues actually are pretty good too because a lot of them are not legendary. They're like unblockable 1/1s and just getting an extra one.
yeah, and
Pretty
the
cool.
rogues that is a deck and a very good one too, if I remember right. So
Yeah, it was a Precon and like Zendikar Rising or something. One of those. So it's
Yeah.
around that time.
All right, we
yep,
got
yep.
Duelist of the Mind. 1 in a blue for a star 3 human advisor. He has flying and vigilance. Duelist of the Mind's power is equal to the number of cards you've drawn this turn. Whenever you commit a crime, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. This ability only triggers once each turn. So, committing a crime is you targeting any of your opponent's permanents or things in their graveyard.
Yeah.
I believe
Basically,
that's
you target anything
Or
that's not
their
you.
face.
Yeah. Targeting
What's
anything
your
that's
face
not
again?
you.
I'm pretty sure you can target their face too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think.
Being key, I've heard from Morrow, I was listening to his podcast, but like all of the things that say whenever you commit a crime and does something, they usually are going to say this ability triggers only once each turn. Because there's some things that like are 0 mana, you can cheese just targeting something. I think there's this like 0 mana prevent the next 1 damage to like one of your
Target
opponents.
creature. Yeah.
Yeah. So then you can just
God.
commit a crime every single turn. So you can do this on your opponent's turn. There's some weird cards. So you
Yeah, they definitely added that because otherwise there'd be like a lot of infinite loops.
It would be
lot,
just gross. Yeah.
but still with
They
that,
knew
like
what they were doing.
turn, you can loot on my turn. On Corey's turn, I'll loot again. On James's turn, I'm going to loot again. So there's some power that you
I mean,
can
this
have.
could still get out of hand. Like if you just have like
Mhm.
force fruition or something, it's just like
Yeah.
casting spells with an attack for a bajillion.
Mm-hmm.
Could be good.
And it looks like this is Nathan Stewart's card from the World Championship.
Mm-hmm.
It's got flying in it already. Like that's
Yeah, flying
evasion.
vigilance for 2.
Yeah.
It's a 2-drop.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's a
honestly.
2-drop that is at minimum going to be a 1/3 flying vigilance every turn. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It'll at least be a 1/3. You could probably make it a 2/3 pretty easily because obviously, as we were saying, we're all criminals because we commit a crime every single time we play Magic. So that's not hard to do.
I guess he doesn't block well. He'll be a 0/3 whenever you're
Mhm.
blocking.
well, unless you have a way to instant speed
Unless you got
draw.
something. A little surprise.
Yeah.
Ooh, brainstorm. He's a 3/3.
Yeah, brainstorm.
Oops.
Because divination on your turn.
That's a
Yeah,
sorcery.
this can
Oh,
be
it is?
tricky.
Divination?
Divination sucks then. It's a sorcery?
It
God.
always has sucked.
Well, no wonder I don't play it. What's the instant one? Did they make an instant one
I
recently?
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Divinations were like so long ago.
Yeah, that's old.
Flipple flip. Mr. Corey.
Oh, it's me?
Always.
is
For some
you.
reason I thought it was James.
Nope,
All
it
right.
is you.
Flipple Flip. I can't even pronounce his name ever. Lost on the range. They had a deck box with this cool art on it at Magic Con Chicago.
Oh, nice.
Flipple flip's a huge icon.
So 1 blue for a 1/1 lizard creature homunculus. He's back and he's in the West. He's got Ward 2. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. The top card of your library has Plot. The plot cost is equal to its mana cost. You may plot non-land cards from the top of your library. So you cast stuff from the top of your deck by plotting them.
It's kind of cool. Didn't
How
have
do
to reveal it.
you
can
have
just
to
look at it.
reveal? You got to reveal the plot, right? There.
Yeah, anything plotted is face up, so your opponent
Exile.
knows it's coming.
Not like I pay 3 mana. Oops, it's a 7-drop.
No, yeah, it's anything plotted is face up because it just goes to exile, and exile is
Yeah.
always public knowledge. It's not like
Exile.
Foretell where it says to exile it face down. So
Yeah. Well, you can maybe play. I'm thinking on top of my head like a Cheerios deck, like a bunch of 0-drop artifacts. You're just digging through your deck, plot.
yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the next turn, you just have like your whole deck in play.
Storm, Superstorm, Aetherflux right before.
Just go crazy. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of funny for that.
I mean, it's also good if you just have no cards in your hand, right? Like,
Oh yeah, it's
just
super
using
good
your
for
mana
that.
for something on your turn.
Oh yeah, this pseudo card draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that if you're looking for that being plotted, you can't cast that card the turn you do it. Like you
Right.
It has to
need
be
to
a
literally
later
wait the
turn.
next turn, so that
Yeah.
kind of sucks. But
Yeah.
I mean, you're using your mana. Yeah, it's almost card draw.
But then like, you're basically just making it so your next turn is way better.
Mm-hmm. Mhm.
So, you know.
It's nice if you have like a double spell deck too, because you could plot something the next turn, cast the plotted thing, and then cast a card from your hand, and then you get to trigger
Yeah.
cast 2
You're
spells.
you're guaranteeing that you have 2 to cast.
So also thinking about that for limited reasons, like plot is usually like 2 spells. Going back on High Noon, you can only cast 1 spell each turn. It's
Right.
getting kind of more better.
Yeah, it
Definitely
is
a
getting
really
better.
good
Yeah.
spell tech. You know, people
This
are
will
going
be
to
a bomb and limited just because it's free cards to
Oh,
cast.
yeah.
Like,
For sure.
Mhm.
and it has ward too, so they can't just kill it right away.
Yeah, the word's really nice. Definitely. Super good for that.
So the running for best artwork, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
art's really cool.
he's in a bad place, man. I think he's a little lost. Like there's
Yeah.
He's got his
Like
family and
dragons
he's
around him and
sweating because
shit.
there's like things looking like they're coming to eat him.
you do not want to be in that spot, my dude.
No, it's not a good spot. All right.
Well, he's lost on the range, so it's like, where am I?
Speaking of cool artwork, this next one definitely has some pretty sick looking artwork too. We have Geralf the Fleshright. He is 2 and a blue for a 2/3 legendary human warlock creature, so he is an outlaw. Whenever you cast a spell during your turn, other than your first spell that turn, create a 2/2 blue and black zombie rogue creature token. Whenever a zombie enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it for each other zombie that entered the battlefield under your control this turn as a 2/3.
So this is where you could plot and set up a massive turn.
Yeah, this could just go. This can just explode, man. Like, holy crap!
Thinking like grave crawler shenanigans. You just keep sacking the grave crawler over and over. I did it like 4 times, and the next one I played, they get 5 counters on it.
Yeah, it's
Could
like,
be fun.
oops, no, it's big.
Well, and every single time you cast it, you'll be getting a 2/2 zombie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, it is every
Yeah.
time.
Other
I
than
was
first.
reading it as
Other
just
than
the
your
second
first.
spell, but
No,
other
it's
than
anything past the first, you get a 2/2
Okay.
zombie.
Yeah.
this can be abused.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will
seems
definitely
good.
be. This is an engine for any kind of storm-based deck. Yeah, in a way.
I mean, it's
Or
good just in
spell
zombie
caster.
tribal decks too. Like,
Yep. Because zombie decks are generally pretty cheap costing cards, so yeah, like this synergizes very nicely
Yeah. So I'll
for sure.
Gravecrawler, Rooftop Storm. I mean, once you have Gravecrawler combo, you really don't need anything to really win. This is just another
Yeah.
way.
It's another way to pull it off. But yeah, this'll definitely do it though.
Seems exciting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who all loves Jace being in their sets? Jace
More
is back.
Jace.
Let's go. Jace reawakened. This time he has fused with Ashiok. Blue for a legendary planeswalker. Jace comes in with 3 loyalty. You can't cast this spell during your first, second, or third turns of the game. You can +1, draw a card, then discard a card. +1, you may exile a non-land card with mana value 3 or less from your hand. If you do, it becomes plotted. -6, so that does the doubling season test. You could play him and ult him right away.
Yeah.
Until end of turn, whenever you cast a spell, copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. Well, it's not like an emblem, but it's still good.
Yeah, it's
but,
not
I
like
mean,
a
if you
super
use
crazy
the
all.
plot a card, like plot a card, plot a card, plot a card. Oh, now I'm gonna do the copy and copy all of those.
Copy whatever
That-
you're plotting.
That is Christmas, magical Christmas land right there.
Yeah. Also, it says you can't cast it during your first, second, or third turn. So if you could give it flash, you could play it on your opponent's turn.
Yeah, it's just yours.
So Leyline of Anticipation, turn 0.
Pew!
And then turn 1 or 2, you can flash them in on your opponent's turn.
Mm-hmm.
That's just dirty. I love that.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, he's Jace, right? Jace is always good, so
And Ashiok.
yeah.
Forget.
Yeah, and Ashiok.
Solid.
Yeah, yeah.
Next up, we got the Step Between Worlds. It's 3 blue for a sorcery. Each player may shuffle their hand and graveyard into their library. Each player who does draws 7 cards. Exile Step Between Worlds, and you can plot it for 4 blue.
Hmm. Seems pretty good. Sadly, it's not
Yes,
like forcing your opponents where usually you want to
Yeah.
do like
It's
that.
not like a
It's like,
windfall or something like that.
but it's. I mean, if you could basically, so it's basically you either play it and you just do it yourself, or you can plot it and then just wait till you have like no cards in your hand and draw 7.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
yeah,
nice.
you plot it, then wait the next turn, then you have the mana to cast it. It's almost like Time
Yeah.
Spiral, where you pay 6, then untap 6 lands, so then you have the mana to cast your new 7 that you got.
Right. Well, you
So
could also you don't have to cast it the next turn either. You can just let it sit there plotted until you
yeah,
want it.
till
So
you
Yeah.
want. Yeah,
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 just
yeah.
let it sit.
it's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. It's okay.
Hmm.
All right. Next, we got Stoic Sphinx. It is 2 blue for a 5/3 Sphinx creature. Has flash and it also has flying. Stoic Sphinx has hexproof as long as you haven't cast a spell this turn. That's interesting. Blue not casting spells.
Well, it's just you just have everything and be an instant.
Yeah, you hold up
Yeah.
Mystic Confluence on your next turn.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But it's just a beater and commander, which is not where
Yeah,
you
it's like a
want to be.
5/3. I mean, a 5/3 is
Mm.
okay.
It dies
It's
to
gonna get
lightning bolt.
it's gonna get
Yeah.
bolted though, as long as it doesn't have hexproof.
So crappy commander
It's a
card,
medium.
but
Yeah.
10 out of 10 limited again. This thing's
Limited,
gonna be
super
monster.
good. Yeah,
Limited. Holy
that's
crap.
gonna yeah, it's gonna fly over all of your opponents and they're gonna cry.
Even in limited, if you're holding on to cards, just sandbag it. Just have that thing have hexproof and win with that.
Yeah. Yeah, because is that just for that turn it has hexproof, or is that like for like forever as long as that check is made, Corey?
Yeah, so like if I cast a spell on my turn, it loses hexproof for that turn, but then I pass turn, it now has hexproof until I
Okay,
unless I
okay,
cast
so
an
it's
instant.
it's not okay, so it's
So
like
most time it's gonna have hexproof.
check every time.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that makes it better then. Definitely. Yeah. Definitely good for limited though. Like or something like that.
We got the Key to the Vault. 1 in a blue for legendary artifact equipment. Has equip 2 in a blue. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, look at that many cards from the top of your library. You may exile a non-land card from among them, put the rest on bottom of your library in a random order. You may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost.
Oh my god.
Pretty sick.
So
Dude.
cast stuff for free when you hit them.
Every
Dig through your
single
deck.
combat?
So it's kind of like the Tali, the one that deals damage and triggers.
Mm-hmm. But in blue,
That-
where you have Brainstorm and you can
Yeah.
sculpt the top
Manipulate
of
the
your
top,
deck.
yeah.
Oops. There's
And you can just
Expropriate.
play Sensei's Divine Top.
Yeah, exactly.
Sensei's top. Yep. Yep.
So it's gonna be pretty good.
Yep.
I like it.
Especially if you got big things to hit.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hit
Yeah.
something huge like, I don't know, omniscience or something like that. Oh, oops, it's free. Sorry. And now everything's free.
It
Yeah.
being an artifact's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's
It's
really
got
good.
upsides
For that.
and downsides.
Obviously, yeah. Can be easier to destroy because of that, but
Yeah.
also can be made indestructible because of that. So,
My buddy was thinking about his Urza deck, sliding this in. He makes big constructs. It's an artifact.
Yeah.
Tap it for mana with Urza.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. You can do that too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's super good, especially for the blue.
All right. Next up, we got 3 steps ahead. It is a blue with plus, which means it has spree. So instant, the sprees are 1 in a blue, counter target spell, add 3 generic mana, create a token that's a copy of target artifact or creature you control, or add 2 generic mana, draw 2, then discard a card.
Said it's targeting your stuff. Like usually you want to play clones that target your
Yeah.
opponents after they
You
play like
want to target other things.
their dockside extortionist or whatever.
I think this gets better in like a blue deck where you're just playing control and you're like, all right, I'm going to counter this and then make a copy of my best thing for 6 mana.
Yeah.
I mean, what is Sublime Epiphany? Do you guys remember that card?
Yeah, it's 6 mana.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does all of this, right?
Basically.
Basically, yeah.
I don't think it draws 2 discard a card.
It draws a card. I
It
love
draws a card though, yeah.
Okay. I mean, but you have to pay 6 for Sublime Epiphany. This
you have the option to like you play a cancel, or you could just
Yeah.
play a clone of your own thing, or you could just get it out of draw 2 discard.
Mhm.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's really high costing. So like I said, unless you're like mono blue and want this over like Sublime Epiphany or what's the command that is similar?
Cryptic.
Command.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar to that too.
If you want another one of those type of modal things, then maybe. But
If you're running Spellseeker, another
yeah,
target.
you can hit it with Spellseeker.
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting. I do like the modal, flexibility of it, but you are definitely sacrificing, the flexibility for like what you're casting, because like you'll be casting the equivalent of like a cancel, which is not the best counter spell, or a forecast clone, which is not the best clone. It's kind of like you have the flexibility, but you're paying for the things that are like the more mediocre version of what you're playing, basically, which is kind of interesting. So I don't know, it's kind of, is that worth this, basically?
Yeah.
The flexibility, is it worth that flexibility? I think it might be.
Yeah,
honestly,
because
flexibility is good.
On the scale. Being flexible is really important.
Really, because there's so many times where you just have a dead card in your hand and you just hate your life, whereas this will be able to do many things, and it's less likely for it to be just a card that's sitting. So, I think it's okay.
Cool.
And with that, we are done with blue, and we are on to black. And I believe it's my turn, right?
Yep.
So, our first black card is Caustic Bronco. It is 2 and a black for a 2/2 snake horse mount creature.
It's interesting.
Yeah, that's a combo. Hey. Whenever Caustic Bronco attacks, reveal the top card of your library and put it into your hand. You lose life equal to that card's mana value if it isn't saddled. Otherwise, each opponent loses that much life. And it's saddle 3. That's kind of cool.
All right, I'm going to send my guy in to ride on a snake horse.
Some interesting art.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It kind of reminds me of a Nazgul almost.
Yeah.
It's kind of creepy.
It's a snake horse.
Are all saddled creatures 2/2? Because like that.
No, they're not.
Well, that one was 2/4, I think.
Okay, yeah, the white one was. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
There's a lot of uncommon ones with different stat lines too.
The 2/2 hurts a lot, but the effect's powerful. It's a 2-drop.
It's
basically like a bob.
It's like a bob, but then
it's on attack trigger too. Like it's not like you have to hit them.
Okay. True.
True.
So, but if you could saddle, you could rip off like a 6-drop and hit everybody for 6.
Yeah, that's pretty good, honestly.
I mean, brainstorm again or Sensei's Divine Top.
Find something better. I'm gonna pull up.
Opponent.
Oh, look! I got this 5-drop. Everybody takes 5 and play Kikusho.
That's awesome.
God. Like, yeah. This can be really good, especially if it's set up like that.
It's also good, like if you just get it right away at the beginning of the game and just keep attacking for 2 at somebody just to draw cards. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
You need
just
to get
drawing
that
cards
3
is great.
power out the following turn for sure. But if your
Yeah.
commander's like that,
Yeah, a lot of commanders are around that power, so you'd probably be able to get that.
play this on turn 2, play Timna on turn 3.
yep.
And then just go to town, baby.
Go to town.
Yeah. I like this card. This card's cool.
All right, it wouldn't be a set with Garoff if there wasn't Gisa, the Hellraiser. 3 black for 4/4 human warlock, legendary, of course. It's got Ward 2 and also pay 2 life.
Love
Skeletons, Corey, and zombies you control get +1/+1 and have menace. Whenever you commit a crime, create 2 tapped 2/2 blue and black zombie rogue creature tokens. This ability triggers only once each turn.
The claws.
It would be broken.
It'd be so busted otherwise.
Yeah.
It's still, seems
still really good. You get two,
Super
well,
good,
basically
yeah.
3 3s with menace.
Yeah.
As long as this is out.
Mm-hmm.
That's super awesome. Yeah, that's why it costs 5.
Yeah, 5 is kind of a bit, but pretty
But
sick.
that's a very, very powerful effect. This is a huge engine, and it also buffs your board. I'm assuming you're going to be playing skeletons or zombies with this, so super good for that.
It's really hard if you just put this as your commander. I don't know. You're stuck in mono black. You're trying to put like commit crime and like do some things. I think this is way better in the 99 of like some 3-color zombie deck that you just
or just like the blue black. I think there is a Gisa and Geralf commander that's blue black.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Yeah, it works perfect for that for sure.
Yeah, better in the 99, I think. I don't think you want to try to like jump the hoops of being mono black.
I mean, you could. You just have to play a lot of like kill spells and stuff that commit crimes, but
yeah.
She's cool.
Yep, I like it.
Next up, we got the Insatiable Avarice.
Insatiable Avarice.
Insatiable. All right, so it's a black. It's a spree. So the first one is add 2 colorless or 2 generic mana. Search your library for a card, then put it on top. And add black. Target player draws 3 cards and loses 3 life. So for 3 mana, you can tutor a card to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Or for 3 mana, you can draw 3, lose 3. Or for, what is that, 2, 4, 5 mana, you can do both. Put a card on top, draw it along with 2 others, and lose 3.
Right, yeah. You draw the card you tutor. Because I think it results
you
top
tutor
and
then you draw, and along
unless you're targeting not yourself, but
usually you're targeting yourself in this case.
It's pretty good. It's a nice flexible card.
Yeah, another flexible card.
More tutors for commander. No. I mean, nobody played Cruel Tutor anyway. The OG 3 mana, search your library for a card, put on top.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this
is the buyout of draw 3, so.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're like, okay, tutor card on top, it's a little slow, especially at sorcery speed. It's not an instant.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So you're like, all right, let me just draw 3.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I feel like I would play that mode more than the other mode. Just draw 3, lose 3.
Yeah. I feel like
especially
that is
black,
the better one, nice. Especially in black.
Well, yeah. Usually, you want to draw more cards, but if you have one piece of your combo, you're like, oh, right. I just need one more card to combo off.
Yeah.
So being flexible is good. We'll see how it plays. It's definitely not as good as the other tutors. Like, I'd be playing Demonic Tutor, Vamp way over this, but...
Yeah, Demonic Tutor's way better.
We'll see how it plays. It could be up there in the ranks, but...
Yeah, it's
definitely better tutors.
Again, the flexibility helps for sure. All right, our next card we got is Karavek, the Punisher. It is 1 black for a 3/3 legendary human warlock creature. Whenever you commit a crime, exile up to one target black card from your graveyard and copy it. You may cast the copy. If you do, you lose 2 life.
So this one doesn't have the once per turn clause.
Nope. You can do this as much as you want.
But
I
you
mean, as long
need
as you have black cards in your
black
graveyard.
card
Yeah.
in your graveyard. Yeah, that's the big thing. Does Painter Servant target your graveyard?
No. I don't think so. I think it was
Just cards in play.
Yeah.
All cards that aren't in play, spells, and permanents are the chosen color in addition to
Oh,
permanents.
you mean just to make the stuff in your graveyard black?
All
Yeah,
black.
that'll work.
Sounds outrageous, right? Lands
Yeah.
black? What?
Exile it,
Like-
copy it. Well, you
I'm
can't
playing
cast the
land.
land, though. So,
So one card. You may cast. No, my
Yeah, if it's
dream.
land, you're just
but
putting
you
into
can
play.
hit, you
it's
can hit
not
all
the
the other
same.
creatures and stuff.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
artifacts,
Yeah.
or any Painter Servant's broken in general, but
Yeah, it's just a broken
even
card,
more.
period.
honestly, it's pretty good.
It's pretty
solid
good, I'd
card.
say. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, you're going to
this
commit a crime just normally throughout the course of the game, so.
Yeah.
I have Demonic Tutor. It goes into my graveyard. Commit a crime real quick. Demonic Tutor again.
Yeah, I mean, just like,
Yeah.
you cast a kill spell, and then, like, you just have a different spell in your graveyard that you copy, so.
Yeah. Another kill spell, or a damage dealing spell, or a bring back, or reanimate
Strip
spell.
Mine.
Like,
Everyone runs Strip Mine.
strip mine, yeah.
Well, that's the other thing, is if your deck is just a bunch of kill spells, like, you could kill spell, trigger another kill spell, I committed another crime, do another kill
Yeah.
spell, I did another
Yeah,
crime,
just
so you could kill the whole
Fucking
board,
chains,
as long as you have
man.
enough stuff in your graveyard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Start changing them, yeah. Some
As long
sort
as you
of
have enough
swarm
mana.
deck.
That's why he's in there just burning down the whole house. But,
Yeah, he's literally just burning the house down. Love it. That's awesome. That's a cool card. I like this one.
All right. We got the Pitiless Carnage. 3 and a black for sorcery. Sacrifice any number of permanents you control. Then draw that many cards. You can plot this for 1 black. Tokens, aristocrats.
Mm-hmm.
This seems
Yeah.
good.
But
Super
if you
good
have
for
that 2-drop that's like whenever you sacrifice a permanent, it gets a +1/+1 counter.
that.
You just sack your board. Make that thing huge. Or, like Corvold, isn't it whenever you sack, it gets bigger and you draw a card?
Yeah, you run
So
him.
just
He's
drawing
broken.
double cards with this?
Oh.
That's broken. Permanents, treasure tokens are permanents.
Yep.
Yeah.
That sounds disgusting.
Just a little bit. Yeah, super good.
It's a Richard King Ferguson art. Always a blast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. It's so cool.
All right. Next up, we got the Rush of Dread. It is 1 blacks with a spree. So it's 3 mana plus 1 mana. Target opponent sacrifices half the creatures they control rounded up. Plus 2 mana. Target opponent discards half the cards in their hand rounded up. Plus 2 mana. Target opponent loses half their life rounded up. So the sack half their creatures for 4 is pretty good, and the
Yeah.
lose half their life for 5 is pretty good.
Right.
Especially if you have the combo thing where they lose life, you gain life, and then the other one, and you just win.
Right.
Yeah. Or
Yeah,
Wounded
so-
Reflection.
Yeah, wound reflection. They lose
Wound
life, you get life
Reflection
they
would be
lost.
sick. Yeah. If you're running that card, why not run this one?
Yeah, it was a Sanguine Bone. There's a couple of cards that do that. Yeah. That's a lot of dealing half of things.
I think it's mostly the loses half their life rounded up is the best one.
That is the best one, yes.
Or what if you just pay 8,
Mm-hmm.
and then you target a different opponent with each effect? How much would they hate you?
Yeah. That'd be hilarious. Like, okay, you got the biggest board, half your creatures.
Yeah,
You
you're the
got a
biggest
fuck ton
life
of cards in your
total.
hand.
Yeah.
Get rid of half your hand. You
And
have
you
like
the biggest-
80 life. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Half that. Yeah, like this could be pretty powerful, honestly. It'll do a lot, especially if you got the mana.
It's
which,
okay.
I mean,
It does cost a lot. Like I
Yeah.
think it's better if you have a combo with it.
Yeah, you need.
yeah, it's really wanting a combo for sure. Like with a combo, this card is really, really good. All right. Our next card is Tiny Bones Joins Up. It is a black for a legendary enchantment. When Tiny Bones joins up, enters the battlefield, any number of target players each discard a card. Whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, any number of target players each mill a card and lose 1 life.
So just giving all of your stuff to be Tiny Bones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
It's good for 1 black.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really good for 1.
need to be a legendary, like have a lot of legendaries.
Yeah,
if
it's
you
like
really
a
want.
legendary man.
I mean, even if you don't, right?
deck.
You just play like a discard deck, like 1 mana, discard 3 cards. It's pretty good. If you just hit
Yeah.
your opponents.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's a legendary we can keep?
Plus, you have your
recurring?
commander, so like
Yeah,
Turgid
you
is
always
gonna be
have that.
busted.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tergrid. Trying to think of a recurring legendary creature.
I'm sure there's something, I'm sure.
There's got to be something out there.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff, I'm sure.
Mhm.
There's so many legendary creatures nowadays.
Well, of course, don't forget like the partner decks too, so you have 2 then.
Ooh, that is nice.
Yeah.
Good call there.
So yeah, I
Alright.
feel like this could definitely have. I mean, just in general, you can definitely trigger this a little bit. Like it won't be a lot, but it is only 1 mana, so
I think if you want to also mill yourself, I mean, of course, yeah, you want to see your graveyard.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
I mean, or if you're playing like Madness and want to make yourself discard.
Or may I
The first
forcing
part.
yourself to discard? Yep. It's like, oh, pay 1, I can play my Madness card for like nothing. Hey, oh, good. Yeah,
All right,
I think this can definitely combo really well.
We got Tiny Bones himself, the Pickpocket, for 1 black. 1/1 legendary skeleton rogue with Death Touch. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target non-land permanent card from that player's graveyard, and any mana of any type can be spent to cast that spell.
Oh, cool. All right.
So
you killed
the
their
old
big
Tiny
thing,
Bones,
and then you just bring it back.
the old Tiny Bones cost 2. The new one they
Okay.
had to make them better. They cost only 1.
Yeah, it's 1 is really good.
Yep.
1/1 Death Touch. He's a skeleton.
Yep.
Obviously, he has to deal combat damage, and he's only a 1/1, so you gotta work with that.
It
But
does have
Death
Death Touch, so they probably don't want to
Yeah.
block it.
they're
But-
probably not gonna want to block it.
But still, any sort of chump will block it. Will
Yeah.
kill it.
Yeah, so you're not gonna get that effect. But that effect is
And, like,
pretty nice.
It's nice, but yeah, you slam this on turn 1. Turn 2, I attack. What do they have in their graveyard?
Probably nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing that's good. Yeah, it's just,
Oh.
and then the thing is, if you jam it later, they're
I
gonna
feel
have
like
a
it's
whole
more
shit ton
of
of
a
stuff on
card.
the
Like if
board.
this is like your commander, you play it on like turn 2, hoping that they like. Or if you went like last, you played it your turn 2, hope they like ramp, and then you can copy their
Yeah.
ramp spell or something.
Ramp spell.
Yeah, that
You
wouldn't
play
be bad.
Tiny Bones joins up first. They discarded a card.
Right, yeah, the combo.
So probably better in the 99. I don't know.
Yeah.
Of Tiny Bones OG.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Next up, we got Vladimir, New Blood. 1 in a black for a 2/2 legendary creature vampire rogue. Whenever you commit a crime, put a 1/1 counter on it. This ability triggers only once each turn. As long as 4 or more 1/1 counters on it, it has menace and lifelink.
Ooh.
So 2/2 that eventually becomes a 6/6 menace lifelink if it sticks
Yeah.
around. For
Which
4
again,
turns.
committing crimes in Magic is not hard.
Yeah.
So yeah, that can be pretty good.
It's a vampire, yes, but I don't really see it in Commander that much. It's like another limited all-star, but not going
Yeah,
to be.
I
limited,
think
super
it could
good.
be okay in like Edgar because it's a 2-drop
Yeah,
vampire.
yeah. You
Yeah,
want
like,
cheap
Mhm.
vampires.
yeah, you want cheap vampires in that. And there's a lot of other stuff that puts 1/1 counters on stuff in that deck.
That's
You can
true.
get this up to
Yeah.
4 a
Right,
lot
so you'll
faster.
get
Don't
up
need to
to
be
that
committing
faster, and then
crime.
he just gets bigger and better.
You can do
And
it
then
the
the menace to
lawful way.
lifelink is really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's okay. Pick him up in
Yeah.
limited.
Yeah, good for that. All right, that's black.
Should we do segments?
Is it segment? Is it segment time?
Bum 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 bum.
All right. Well, Cody's crazy card this week is the card that they gave you on April Fool's Day. If you logged into Arena, they gave you like 6 to 8 copies of it for free. It's one with nothing. It costs 1 black for an instant. You discard your hand. It's a terrible card, and people have been trying to make it work since 2005, and I still have not seen someone pull it off.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my god, it's like Lion's Eye Diamond. It's like, yeah, but that's free. So
And that gives you mana. This just
yeah, and you
discards
get
your
mana.
hand.
What is that
Which-
blue enchantment that makes everybody cast the same spell? Hmm.
Oh,
So
yeah,
you
that
get-
could be okay.
And then everybody has to cast one.
Yeah, everyone has to cast it.
Oh
What is
jeez.
that spell?
So everyone just discards their hand at the same time.
I mean, you do too, but you made everyone
But
else.
you're
discard it.
spreading the pain to the table. That'd be kind of funny.
Yeah, so the challenge to all the listeners is make this card work.
True.
Yeah,
Let's see it.
legit.
Madness? No. All right, we'll do my jank combo. Guys, ready for this? This is a 2-card combo. You win the game again.
What?
Oh boy.
All right, everybody's favorite, Lethal Vapors. It's 2 black for an enchantment. Whenever a creature comes into play, destroy it. Then you can have, it has an activated ability for 0, destroy Lethal Vapors. You skip your next turn, but any player may play this ability. So if you're like, oh man, all my creatures are going to die when they come in, it's like, fine, all right, I'll skip my next turn. You're welcome, play group. And then now I can play my creatures the following turn. Super fun card everyone loves. But it's a 0 mana activated ability. That means you can stack this thing. Say, I wanted to do this 50 million times again. So we all love doing that. I stack it, and then on the end of it, I cast Teferi's Protection. Teferi's Protection says, until your next turn, your life total can't change, and you may have protection from everything, and all permanents you control phase out. Well, it specifically says, until your next turn. I just skipped 50,000 turns. My next turn is going to be a long time from now. So I'm phased out. Everyone's playing their game until everyone decks themselves because they can't kill me and they're still in the game. And I win the game by sitting and doing nothing.
Unless they have like a questing beast.
Well, there's some ways to die around Teferi's protection, yes, but very slim.
It's not
just sit there
perfect,
in the
but
background and watch everybody
yeah,
else.
you're just like, oh yes.
Yeah,
I'm
you're just
gonna
like, hey, I'm gonna go get something to eat, guys. I'm gonna activate this combo. Let me
have
know.
a good game, but I win. Bye.
We'll see if I win.
Let me know if you have a way to make me lose.
Yeah. Oh, that's so stupid. My God.
It's pretty stupid.
uh, that is why it's jank.
This is pretty jank.
All right. My jungle card this week is a Selesnya classic. It is Voice of Resurgence. It is Selesnya, green white, for a 2/2 elemental creature. Whenever an opponent casts a spell during your turn, or when this dies, create a green and white elemental creature token with this creature's power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures you control. So, yeah, this is as long as they cast spells, which, I mean, this is Magic. People have to cast spells. I mean, it's just kind of how the game works. You're pretty much guaranteed to at least get a couple each turn, and it's just going to snowball, basically. Each one gets bigger than the last because it's based on the total power you have on the field. So, or total number of creatures you have on the field, rather. So it's just going to naturally get bigger, and especially if you have a board to begin with, then this just gets even better. So, but it's a fine turn 2 play too. Like, to be honest, like, it's great for either, like, it's a good early gameplay, but it's also like an even better late gameplay, like, especially if you have a board. Like, in that case, it's more of a win more. But yeah, even if you just play it in the beginning of the game, like, it's an engine on its own. You just basically let it sit there and let your opponents play the game, and it just makes your board big.
It's more like anti-counterspell. It's like, oh, you could counterspell me, but I'm going to get a dude now.
Yeah, and that too, right? It's like, yeah, counter war, I dare you.
Yeah.
Boo, 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 boo. It's like you have like 5 creatures all of a sudden that are huge. But yeah, really cool card. Kind of a classic, but
Yep.
yeah, it's still very, very much quite relevant, and it is very powerful on its own.
Yeah. He has been in Vintage Cube some seasons.
Mm-hmm. For a good reason.
Yeah, for good reason.
All right. I believe it's my turn. We are under red now. Ah, my nose is itching. So we have Calamity Galloping Inferno. It is 4 red for a 4/6 legendary horse mount creature. It has haste. Whenever this attacks while saddled, choose a non-legendary creature that saddled it this turn and create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of it. Sacrifice that token at the beginning of the next end step. Repeat this process once, and then it has saddle 1.
So pretty much any non-legendary, you're going to get 2 copies tapped
Yeah.
and attacking.
That's pretty good. Like, this is a bit, it does cost 6, but that's a pretty good effect though, right? And it only basically anything can tap to do it too. It's saddle 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's nice. If it's like your Lelia that's a little bit too weak to attack into boards, you create a token copy of it that can just go in and get your attack trigger off, or like your original Atali attack triggers off.
Yeah, OG.
Without having to sacrifice it going into battle.
Yeah.
Or, just get 2 Infernal Titans.
2 Infernal
literally.
Titans.
I mean,
the first one you saddle will not be getting the attack trigger.
Right, but then you get the 2 tokens tapped and attacking, that you get the ETB. So,
mm-hmm.
Oh, you repeat this process once. Okay,
yeah.
I see.
Yeah,
so you'll do 6 damage.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. I like it.
Mm-hmm. It's a really good card. Like I said, a little pricey, but
yeah.
That's good. That's especially depending on what creature you got. Like, yeah, if it's like an Inferno Titan or something like that, like, that's really good. That's a good combo for sure.
Yeah. All right, the Great Train Heist. 1+.
Is this Firefly?
A mountain.
That was the trade job.
Close enough.
So you can +2 in a red, untap all creatures you control. If it's your combat phase, there's an additional combat phase after this phase. +2 Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain first strike until end of turn. And plus a red, choose target opponent. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to that player this turn, create a tapped treasure token. That seems kind of fun.
4 mana
my.
additional combat is probably the most likely.
That's pretty
use
good.
of it.
Yeah.
If you have a go wide board, you could just be like 2 mana, make a bunch of treasure.
Mhm.
Yep. Combat trick if you want first strike. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yep, not bad. Honestly, pretty cheap for that too. For all creatures, like that's not
Yeah.
bad. Honestly, a lot of
I
times
like
it's like
it.
a singular one, but this is your board.
Or for 7, you
So-
could do all of it.
Yeah, which is honestly not terrible. That would be a lot of stuff.
So on instant speed, you attack with everything, and they block, thinking they have good trades. You cast this instantly. You get first strike, and then you get another attack phase after this.
And everything that they didn't block, you're going to get treasures on, and
Mhm.
you get to attack again and make more treasures.
Seems pretty sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's pretty sweet.
that's a pretty good card. I like that.
Next up, we got Hellspur Posse Boss. Is 2 red for a 2/4 lizard rogue creature. Other outlaws you control have haste, which is assassin, mercenary, pirate, rogue, and warlock. When it enters the battlefield, create 2/1/1 red mercenary creature tokens that have tap. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Activate as a sorcery. It's pretty good. And all of the mercenary tokens you create in the set have that ability. So
That's actually kind of sick because like that stacks,
yeah.
so you can just make
So
something.
like, because normally you get a
huge.
bunch of 1/1s. You know, sometimes you get stalled out like, oh, I can't swing into their 8/8. Well, now you
Mhm.
can just tap all these 1/1s that are sitting around to
It's like
buff something that can attack them.
It's pretty flavorful too. Like his goons are helping him out. Like
yeah,
get him.
they're doing
Yeah,
all
he gives
all the
any
hard
other
work.
outlaws haste too, which is nice.
Yeah, it's really good.
I don't know. I don't really see it in Commander. Maybe the haste part is good in the tribe or type decks, but I don't know.
Mhm.
This seems like a limited card to me, which is going to be a bomb and limited again
Super bomb, yeah, for sure.
for 3 creatures for 4 mana.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
unless you want to try to make an outlaw deck, you might put this in there.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty
So I
good
don't
for that.
know how many outlaws exist otherwise. But. And only this set is going to have cards that care about all outlaws getting abilities. So
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one might be a little hard to do. Changelings, of course, but
yeah, it's always a thing.
in this in like the 99 of your pirate deck could be there maybe.
Yeah, perhaps. Very interesting, though. Very interesting. All right. Up next, we have Hell to Pay. It is X Red. Good old classic cost there for a sorcery. Hell to Pay deals X damage to target creature. Create a number of tapped treasure tokens equal to the amount of excess damage dealt to that creature this way. So basically, you're getting refunded what you tapped, which is interesting, I
what you
guess.
overpaid. Yeah.
Yeah, what you
Yeah.
overpay.
Which you would purposely do, like I want to save this mana, like I would.
Right. Like I want this mana for next turn to play something that costs twice as much.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if you want to like use the treasure tokens for something else, which is a thing too, I guess. There's
Artifacts.
decks that do that. Yeah, artifacts. Yeah, interesting card. It's a shame it's only creature. Again, it can't be, player or planeswalker or something like that. Like Blaze or some of those other ones, but the other good old 1X cards that are out there. But
Yeah, it's medium.
yeah, interesting interaction with the treasure token, but outside of that, it's like, it's okay, I guess.
No, it's
Nothing
kind of,
nothing to run home about.
I don't know. I've run a big mana mono red deck where if this is my only way to ramp, this seems pretty good. Play Kumano Master Yamabushi, where it's just as much mana
Yeah.
as I can
Or
to
if you're
fire
playing,
Yeah.
what's the guy? Is it Toralf, the excess damage guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely
like,
decks
that
that
like
use
after
that.
you excess damage, you then get to hit something else, and so like you
Yeah.
get the treasures like keep killing everything.
That would be an interesting interaction, definitely.
It might be good in some certain decks, but other than that,
Yeah.
probably not going to be
Yeah,
universal.
pretty niche.
Definitely not universal.
Niche outliers.
All right, Meg does back the Horde Master. 1 in a red for 2/2 legendary dwarf berserker. Whenever you commit a crime, create a tapped treasure token. This ability only triggers once each turn. Sacrifice 3 treasures. Create a 4/4 red scorpion dragon creature token with flying and haste. Activate only as a sorcery.
Okay, I'm
Interesting.
just gonna put this in the 99 of Corvo. Another
Yeah.
outlet for my treasures that makes me 4/4 flyers with haste.
Yeah, that seems really good.
I mean, the first Magda does that like 5 treasures, and you get a search
You
your
get to
library
search for a dragon and put it in your hand.
or an artifact.
hmm
Yeah.
This one just makes
Or maybe it's in
dragons.
play, I don't remember, but
Yeah, put it in play.
this just makes 4/4s.
Scorpion?
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Scorpion, dragon.
Just dragon.
Yeah, it's a
I don't know how
dragon.
many scorpions there are.
Yeah.
That's not really a thing.
And you could instantly get some treasures off of committing crimes because you'll just do that throughout the course of the game. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And also
I like
in limited, I know in the packs you get at least 1 crime card in each pack. They're like as the newspaper, something happened, a crime
Oh
happened.
yeah,
all the wanted.
wanted
There's
poster.
at least 1 wanted card in every pack, I believe. So there's going to be crimes being committed in limited. If you're worried about that.
Heck yeah.
All right, next up we got Slick Shot Show Off. It's 1 in a red for a 1/2 bird wizard with flying and haste. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. And it has plot for 1 in a red.
All right.
Storing up for that 1 big plotted turn in limited, and you just
You just go off.
Yeah, because I feel like if you're not playing in limited, like you're better off just playing it out, and then
Yeah.
like letting them like just whatever get in for 1, and then cast all your stuff the next turn anyway. As long as they see it coming, and they can just hold up a counter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And commander beaters just aren't there. Just doing damage isn't really like, yeah, it's got evasion, but
Right. Like I think it's going to be good at red deck wins or red blue.
yeah,
Deck.
more standard, more
Standard or limited.
60 card limited, not commander.
Yeah, I feel like Commander, this is going to be pretty hard to really get some traction for you. It's probably a little too weak, sadly.
I mean, I see Ice Crom Scepter, Dramatic Reversal. You just cast unlimited spells or that over and over. He's super big, but at that point you have unlimited mana. It's like, why can't?
Yeah, like again,
something
you're
better?
probably going to do something better with your limited mana, right? Just dealing +2/+2/+2 or whatever.
Yeah. Woo!
No, you're probably winning the game. If not, you're doing it wrong, but our next card, we have Stingerback Terror. It is 2 red for a 7/7 Scorpion Dragon creature. It has flying and trample. Stingerback Terror gets -1/-1 for each card in your hand. And it also has plot 3. But again, this is red.
Yeah.
Red doesn't have cards in hand ever.
When do you have cards?
Or you just plot it for when you don't have cards in your hand and you jam it for even less. Which is even better, honestly. 3 for a 7/7? Hello?
Either way, you could get it down on turn 4.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So turn 3, you just plot this. And turn 4, you play it down. Like even if you have 3 cards in your hand still, you still have 4/4 flying trample.
Yeah, I mean, that's still pretty freaking good. Like
How
the
about
dream
this?
scenario where you're able to like dump your hand and then you're able to play this afterwards and you have a freaking 7/7 flyer. With trample. Hey, holy hell. That's a powerhouse
You
card.
don't need to be in mono red and dump your hand. You just need to combo off with the powerful card, one with nothing. It's good. Good.
That fucking card. Oh my
Discard
god.
your hand. Then you have a 7/7.
It's one
Hey, you
with
got
nothing. Good.
7/7 turn 3, guys. Oh
Like I said,
god.
speeders aren't that good in Commander. I don't see him as Commander, but this is probably going to be a standard
Yeah.
powerhouse, 60 card deck powerhouse.
Super good for standard,
Like,
constructive,
This seems
limited. Super good for limited.
Really, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. This is crazy powerful. Like if you always pull this if you see it. Like always.
Oh yeah.
This is good. And that's red. Red was pretty good, honestly. It had some good stuff.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. All right, we are on to green.
We got Bristly Bill, the Spine Sower. 1 and a green for a 2/2 legendary plant druid. It's got landfall. So whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. It's nice. And activate ability 3 green, double the number of +1/+1 counters on each creature you control.
Ooh.
It's a plant druid, so I can make plant tribal.
There's a whole commander deck filled of cacti.
Mhm.
There we go.
Cactus.
Interesting card.
Cactus. Cacti. I
Cactus.
think it's just cactus.
I mean,
That seems busted. Yeah, that seems
it
good.
does seem really good. 5 seems like a lot to double your +1/+1 counters. Like, especially since you can literally just pay 5 and just play doubling season.
Yeah,
But
every single turn.
yeah, but you can do it every turn, and this is honestly.
And
this
if you have
does
double
do quite a
season
lot.
out and you pay the 5, you get double
Exactly.
and then
Like
double.
this
Double.
with doubling season. Oh my god! Literally quadruple your counters. That's pretty good.
Landfall, cast Awaken the Woods, just a bunch of lands. Put +1/+1 counters on all of those creatures. Double them.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this. Yeah, it's really cheap, and it honestly
Yeah.
does quite a lot. It
I
has
think
some
it's
good
good.
abilities. Yeah. Yeah, this will do work easily.
Next up, we got the Colossal Rattleworm. 2 green for a 6/5 creature worm. It has flash if you control a desert. It has
Desert.
trample. It has pay 1 and a green. You can exile it from your graveyard to search for a desert card and put it on the battlefield tapped.
So deserts are a thing again.
Yeah, they made desert lands again.
Yeah, they're
I see.
common tapped dual color lands.
Yeah, they like
Interesting.
to gain life lands, but instead its target opponent loses 1 life, so you commit a crime when you play it.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Both commit the crime and get the dual land in a desert, all unlimited.
All in one.
Is this a 4-mana Crawworm?
Basically.
Yeah, pretty
Holy
much.
crap. Has
It's a
magic
6/5.
gone crazy?
That's
It's
good for 4 mana.
24.
It's a 4-mana
And-
6/5. Let's go.
And it might have flash, and it has trample. Like,
And if it dies, you can get a desert.
yeah,
Ramp.
Rare.
ramp in a creature too. Like, this does so much, dude.
This is 2024, people.
Green's not messing around. Yeah, that's a lot. Like in one, honestly. That's just, what more do you want?
Yeah. My Timmy
Big,
inside
has
me is loving
trample.
this.
You can play it whenever you want, and it ramps. Like, can't complain. All right. Next up, we have Free Strider Lookout. It is 2 and a green for a 3/3 human rogue creature. It has reach. Whenever you commit a crime, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield tapped.
Yep.
Put the rest of the bottom of your library in a random order. This ability triggers once each turn.
I mean,
Of course.
still, it's like
But
a
still.
free mini rampant growth thing.
Hmm.
whenever you commit a crime.
Top 5, you're going to hit a land.
You
Yeah,
probably
you
you're
should
gonna
hit a
be
land.
super unlucky if you don't.
You're playing in like limited or even like 60s. Like that's some good information. Knowing the top 5, whatever that's going to be on
Right.
bottom, knowing that you're not going
I
to
mean,
get
even a
killed.
commander, you're probably going to
Hmm.
hit a land most of the time.
Yeah, you're going to hit a
Yeah.
land. But I'm saying like the information of like knowing that those 4 are on bottom, and I'm not going to draw
Right.
them, which is,
Yeah.
could be pretty big. Especially if you keep repeating this and you remember and not shuffle your deck, that could be.
I like all the
Right.
weapons they have in this set too. They all like have like the yellow thing, like
Yeah.
glowing.
They're kind of cool.
This
Yeah,
guy's
they're
like
very
an
cool looking.
automatic crossbow looking thing, energy
Hmm.
crossbow.
You get
It's
that
like a
energy from the mines. My grandpappy has been getting that energy. All right, we got the gold vein hydra. This is if you go mine that stuff, that's what you're going to run into. The X in a green 0/0 hydra, vigilance, trample, haste. He enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it,
yeah, I'm going to
and when
Hydra.
he
Yeah.
dies, create a number of tapped treasure tokens equal to his power.
Oh, dude! So you get it back?
This is a
Get
hydra,
the
man.
mana you
That's
spent back if they
amazing.
kill it.
This is a hydra.
That's amazing. Because there's so many times where, like, if they kill your Hydra, you're sad because you paid all your mana for it normally. It's like, oh yeah, you get your treasure back. That's nice. Vigilance, trample, and haste. Hello. That's a lot of keywords.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just swing with it right away.
And it's going to hit probably.
It will most
So
likely
what
hit.
I don't.
what are you happy with this being? Like, would you pay 4 for X?
Yeah, it's
Drop
ball
like
of
4/4?
lightning.
4's fine. Yeah.
Ball of lightning.
Honestly,
Sure.
Would you pay 2? Like, make it a 2/2?
I mean, on turn 3, if there's nothing else going on, I think so.
I think 3 or
That's
4
the
is probably the
flexibility.
magic number.
The flexibility of it just
I mean,
makes it.
obviously, when you get to like 5+, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really want it to be like around a 5/5 probably. That's generally like the magic, it's going to stick around. It's not going to get killed easily. It'll be able to trample through their shit, whatever. Or it'll be able to block their shit.
The flavor text. The key is to slay it before it sprouts so many heads that your fear outpaces your greed.
So you play this for like 4. It swings in. It dies. You get 4 tap treasures. The next turn, you play an even bigger Hydra for like 8. And all that trap
Right.
treasures swing in.
Or in constructed, you play
Yeah.
this and then it gets killed, and then you play a bigger one.
Yeah, like a better one. Oh, you thought that one was good? Here's his big brother.
Yup.
I like this. I like this a lot.
Yeah. Seems good.
Next up, we got the Ornery Tumblewag. It's a 2 and a green for a 2/2 Brushwag mount. Brushwag's back. At the
Hey.
beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1 counter on target creature. Whenever Ornery Tumblewag attacks while saddled, double the number of +1 counters on target creature, and it has saddle too.
Nice.
So,
I like how
worst case, it sits out there putting 1/1s on something.
Yeah. I like how it doesn't have to target itself. That's cool.
Yeah, it can target anything, which is super good.
It's pretty good.
Literally anything. Yep. Sick card. Like that. All right. Next up, we have Outcaster Trailblazer. It is 2 and a green for a 4/2 human druid creature. When this enters the battlefield, add 1 mana of any color. Whenever another creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. And then it has plot 3. So 2 green. It's literally the same cost, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so you can just add a mana basically for that turn.
Yeah,
Wait.
that's adding the mana is kind of cool, honestly. I mean, it only does it once, which is fine, but it's like not like amazing. But
What is that?
it's a cool little effect.
4 mana like beast or creature that you could pay 2 to bounce a creature back to your hand. I don't know. Playing this to add the mana, it counts the 1, but you still need to pay extra. I don't know. I'm trying to get some combos. earth crash there. You're tapping, you're bouncing.
I mean, you have the, what is it, Colossal Majesty or whatever, power 4 greater on a creature as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
draw cards.
Yeah, yeah.
My buddy plays Omnath, the angry one, green red landfall. You make a 5/5. So like those are every time you play a land, you get a 5/5. You draw a card.
Yep.
Play another land, get a 5/5. Draw cards. Seems good.
Interesting. Very.
All right, we got the Railway Brawler. 3 green for 5/5 Rhino Warrior with reach and trample. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is his power. It's got plot for 3 green.
Dear Lord, dude. You literally double your shit?
This seems nuts.
That's a crazy card.
I used to play, let's see, this wrong. Sigil Captain, 1 green, white. Whenever creature enters the battlefield under control, if it was a 1/1, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. That thing like did work in my token thing, but
yeah,
this is like
this is anything though.
Just play some big stuff, and they're going to be even bigger.
Yeah, you play your freaking like, I don't know, like that 4-cost 7/7. Oh, it's a 14/14 now.
Yeah. Your Hydras.
Like, yeah, Hydras. They're bigger.
Kind of makes you want to make like a wild pair deck with this. You play this, and then you get the other creature with the same total power toughness, and then it's doubled.
Oh yeah,
good.
It's kind of like in planning early overrun. I mean, like that's a lot of counters, dude.
This was like Lurking Predators or something, where it just hits the field, and then it's big. It's double.
I love Lurking Predators.
It's god. Yeah, because who doesn't like free creatures? How about free creatures that are double power?
That needs to be a James the Jungle one of these days, dude.
Yeah, this is pretty good. I will be probably getting this card, and I have a feeling this is gonna perform very well.
Yeah.
Plus, it's a sweet Rhino.
Yeah, this art is awesome too. By the way, like I love this. Yeah. Reach trample too, like it has reach too, so it blocks flyers, which is also very good. Yep, like it a lot. Super good.
Next up, we got the Smuggler's Surprise. It's 1 green with Spree. It has instant. So for 2 more mana, you can mill 4 cards. You may put up to 2 creature and/or land cards from among the milled cards into your hand. For 4 and a green, you may put 2 creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. And for an extra 1, creatures you control power 4 or greater gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn.
So you literally have a heroic convention, which is pretty good.
For your big stuff.
4 or greater, yeah.
But I think it's all that green for 4, 6 mana. Put 2 creature cards from your hand on the battlefield.
So it's like the tooth and nail kind of.
Yeah, it's more or less a tooth and nail.
You don't get a tutor, but if you have the Troxa in hand,
well, it's like an unentwined tooth and nail.
Yeah,
it's like a show and tell, but more mana.
Double show and tell, or you could play. You could possibly get 2 creatures and then just play them.
Yeah.
If you could pay the, what is that, 6, 7, 8 mana?
8 mana, which almost is a tooth and nail at that point.
Which the first part, mill 4 cards, put up to 2 creature and or land cards from among the milled cards in your hand. That's digging for them. That's finding something.
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah,
I like the flexibility of it.
Yeah.
It's early game, you can use it just to get land or cards in your hand, like card draw, basically. Late game, you could just jam some creatures out or save some stuff from dying.
It's the Trojan horse.
Yeah. It's Trojan horse, baby. Those Trojans are coming. Yeah, sick card, honestly. Again, it's the flexibility. That's what these are all about. And yeah, honestly, all modes can really have their place. Well, and that is the end of the WUBRG circle for this set. And that is as far as we're going to go today.
Yeah. So again, if you want to buy any of these cards, use our TCG Player affiliate link in the show notes. Uh, Thanks for watching. Tell your friends to check it out.
Have a
Peace.
good one.